Around summer of this year, I created this book list of like the 25 most important books that every man should read on his self-improvement journey. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily create, because if you know the famous YouTuber Far From Weak, I basically took his 25 most important books that every man should read, and those that I have already read, I just filled the spots with like different books that I wanted to read during the course of this summer. Because I realized that why not? I had so much free time on my hands, and so why not just spend it productively whilst I was also grinding on this YouTube channel? Bro, let me tell you, it was the most amount of fun that I've ever had when it comes to reading. Like the books that I've read during the course of that summer, which was probably like 19 of them, I extracted so much knowledge from them. I got so many new ideas, so many new phrases, so many new ways of thinking, so many new mindsets that it wasn't even real. And not only that, the books themselves, they were so fun to read because you had books like about productivity, about negotiation, about communication, like relationships in general, about discipline, about willpower, I think. You also had books about testosterone, about exercising, about how to become more flexible and stuff like that. Just all of these good books that would make your life on your self improvement journey way easier. But of course, as it goes with everything, if you indulge too much in anything, you grow to get sick of it over time. And so that's okay. Because when I finished this huge book list after like 45 days of grinding on it every single day, I felt completely washed. Like I just didn't want to see any book for like the next couple of weeks. And that's a lot to say when you take in the fact that I constantly preach on my channel that you should start to read books no matter what. I really made so much progress in such a short amount of time that I basically just didn't want to see them. I, dude, the amount of grind that I put in over this summer, it was just insane. I was reading every single day for like 2.5 hours, average, minimum, I think. But at the same time, eggs that are plain, like they have nothing in them. Sure, they are quite tasty when you add a little bit of salt in there, or pepper, or anything that you want. But over time, as you have them every single day, every single morning for breakfast, you grow tired of them. You just don't want to see them anymore. And that's exactly what happened with me with the books. After I finished them, I think it was like August the 20th. So I just made it like 10 days before I was actually supposed to finish it. It felt like that. And I basically took a break from reading books. But don't worry, this wasn't supposed to be like this long term break, like I just wouldn't touch a single self improvement book or any kind of self development book in the first place for like the next couple of months, possibly even years. No, no, no. This was supposed to be like this short and nice break that would let me cool down my burnout. Because, bro, not only was I just reading those books, I was also taking notes most of the time so that I could, just come back to the notes whenever I feel like it and just remember the knowledge that I got from those books. That's how dedicated I was. And I did it with every single chapter. So, yeah, I was completely washed and drained out when it came to my brain points and my discipline. But over time, as the weeks went by and I was reading less and less and less, I realized something. I wasn't as fulfilled as I was anymore. Like, yeah, sure, I was still grinding on the YouTube channel. I was still planning something huge that will come for the future. I was still looking like months ahead when it came to like planning on my self-improvement journey, when it came to our YouTube channel, our movement, my physical health journey, my mental health journey. I was still planning ahead, but I just didn't. felt like it anymore. I just felt like there was really no point. Like I had no more ideas to think about. It truly felt like I had mastered anything. Well, not really to the point. Like, I was a complete master, like a level 100 guru when it comes to self improvement and improving in the three big desires of wealth, health, and relationships. But when it comes to like my sub niche, like, mental health, I felt like I hadn't mastered anything. Like there was nothing more left for me to do. I just wasn't getting any new ideas. And every single day, when I was jumping on my trampoline, or I was just, thinking about it and just sitting still and looking at the roof of our classroom and just having a time for myself to think about my inner thoughts, I never got any new ideas in that like 1 week break. Like, yeah, sure, it was good for my mental health because my burnout finally went away. And I was feeling actually quite motivated to go back to reading books. But the problem was, I forgot to set a clear goal on what books would I indulge in later after I finished that entire book list. And eventually I realized that the reason why I actually liked books that much was because they gave me so many new ideas, so many new ways of thinking. But now, that singular reason just wasn't gonna cut it. It just didn't make me as hyped as it did anymore. Maybe it was because of the burnout, or maybe it was just laziness, like my discipline was completely drained. But basically, I fell off, and I wanted to get back on track. But I just had no idea which self improvement niche would I get myself into. Would I continue to read mental health books and get better at that? Or would I try physical health, for example? Or would I get myself back into the financial gain and read some more books about financial well being? But then I realized something, and this is gonna probably sound a little bit rude. But trust me, it was the reason that finally got me back on track when it comes to reading books. And this reason always gets me pumped to read a book. Whenever I have the time, of course. Whenever I'm not working and my mind isn't clouded by all the different projects that I'm working on right now. And that reason is that, of course, it ties back to the education system, as everything does on my mental health journey. You see, of course, we all share this, right? When we were little, we had that one teacher that gave us those kinds of tests that even when we studied for it for hours on end, she was just such a fucking master at her own craft that when she gave us the tests that we were supposed to, you know, get good grades from because we studied so fucking hard from it, from the textbooks, we failed miserably. And why? Because when she gave you that test, it was so ridiculous that you just couldn't even believe it. Like, how could a sane person came up with something like this? I have a funny story actually, and don't worry, it's gonna be a quick one. When I was like 15 years old and still in primary school, I had this one head teacher. I've talked about her before on this channel, and she was a really huge master when it came to my mother tongue. And, there were like these huge exams coming up. We were supposed to go to middle school, but before we could, we had these like two exams from my mother tongue and from mathematics that we were supposed to pass. And of course, since she was a complete and utter enthusiast and a complete meticulous analyzer when it came to my mother tongue, she gave us the most ridiculous exams that you could think about. And even if I did try to study for them, I just couldn't even compare since she was such a huge master. Like, there was this one time, right? We were supposed to be writing this exam that we were supposed to be prepared for, like, for the important exam that was supposed to get us into middle school. And guess what? In the Slovakian education system, it works like this. You go to middle school between the ages of 15 and 19. And between the ages of 19 and like 25, you go to high school. And guess what? She didn't give us an exam that was supposed to prepare us for that middle school era, but for the fucking high school era. She literally gave us an exam. Like, granted, there were some similarities, and I didn't really view that much of a difference in like those topics that was on that exam, that was literally prepared for people 4 years older than us. But the difference was that, yeah, sure, the topics were familiar and really actually fitting when it came to our age. But, and that's a huge but, the level of difficulty was on a huge, like on a sky level when it came to us. And then she even had the fucking audacity to complain that we were supposed to already know this. Like, it was just ridiculous, bro. And that was the main reason why I just didn't felt like reading books for most of my life until I started my self-improvement journey. That was finally the time when I actually grew to like books for the first time in a long while. That was when I rediscovered the passion that I had for them. All of the huge books like The 48 Laws of Power, Can't Hurt Me, The 4 Hour Work Week, The Way of the Superior Man, all of these books have helped me so much, and they literally made me fall back in love with reading books. And it finally felt like they were actually working. Like I was actually regaining back the control that I lost with that head teacher. Because trust me, I did try. I was there. I was studying for 3 hours, sometimes every single day, and it just didn't work. Well, maybe that's just me complaining right now, but yeah, those memories are still there. But what I've done is that you need to heal from that trauma. You need to overcome it. And you need to realize that every loss is a win. You need to realize that it is behind you right now and that you can extract the motivation that you have for hating that traumatic experience and putting it into something that would forge you, that will make you into the best version of yourself. You must stop complaining and actually get working so that you don't think about it anymore. You need to make some kind of progress in your life so that it doesn't bug you, so that it doesn't nag you, so that it doesn't, pull you by the hair anymore. Because get this, your brain is so smart that it basically makes connections in like milliseconds. Like the brain cells, they connect so fast inside of your brain and they make these connections. Basically, whenever you make a new memory or you feel a new life experience. And so, when you basically have this connection inside of your brain that, oh yeah, reading books is connected to this traumatic experience that happened to me years ago, then of course you'll subconsciously associate it with that. And so you must really journal deeply about this. What is holding you back from reading books? Do you have something aligned to this beautiful activity that will bring you so many new thoughts, so many new ideas, so many new ways of thinking? Like reading books is actually the best source of knowledge when you think about it. And especially when you read self improvement books, they will never fuck you over. Remember that. They will always give you quality advice that you actually need, that you were seeking from those YouTube videos. Like on the top, when you search for how to become more disciplined and you saw like those clickbaity thumbnails, yeah, you don't get your knowledge from those clickbaity bullshit and from those online gurus that give you nothing in terms of value, but just steal your valuable time. You get your knowledge from books. So find this connection and find books that you're actually interested in, that are aligned to your purpose in life, that are aligned to something that you actually love. And then, once you start making this connection inside of your brain, it's gonna get way easier for you to start reading books again because you'll have a new experience that is associated with it. Like, yeah, sure, self improvement in general gives you both good experiences and the negative experiences. Good experiences are like enjoying delayed gratification, like seeing that V taper, attracting that girl, making your first dollar online. And negative are like seeing no progress for weeks, for months on end. But that's okay. When there's good, there's also evil, and so you must create that good. And once the good outweighs the bad, the trauma goes away. And that's when you will feel like actually reading. And so when I realized this, the reason why you don't want to read, the first thing that I did was I set new goals that I was gonna fulfill. And I work on it now meticulously. Well, not really recently because there's something huge that will revolutionize your mental health that I'm working on right now, and that requires a lot of my brain points. So I'm not really reading that often right now. But trust me, once that is finished, I'm gonna get back on my grind. I'm gonna set new goals. Like, I'm gonna find new books that I want to read. And I'm gonna get new knowledge that will benefit me in the future, and which I know it will work and will actually provide me with new life experiences that will bring me new good connections inside of my brain that will make the trauma go away. If you want to be part of a community where we discuss our mental health and full of like minded men who share the same values as you, the same likes and dislikes, the same goals as you, who are becoming the best version of themselves every single day, and who will be in a state of healthy competition with you, but at the same time, they will be like your blood bonded brothers with whom you can talk about the most embarrassing things that happened in your life, then you can join our Discord clan in the description. We will take good care of you. And I know that if you're watching videos like these and willing to take action, then you'll find your place in there because you have way more potential than you think you have. And stop being held back by your surroundings. But besides that, you can like the video, you can subscribe if you like, join the email list in the description, and get yourself a free ebook about mindfulness. Comment on which part of the video you liked the most, and which part of the video you will implement in your daily life. Don't forget to join the clan, you're still invited, and become a part of the family. Keep your eyes peeled, because something huge will change your life soon. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you